mesotherapy. This is nothing about that, okay? This is a different concept. This is a different product, okay? This is called CELLBOOSTER. It's a mixture between a different type of hyaluronic acid which has been stabilized and has been combined with active ingredients that are slowly released in a continuous manner to obtain long-lasting results. For the first time, we have a product that really works. We have been playing with mesotherapy products that they last almost nothing, okay? We have to do hundreds of millions of sessions to obtain something, and now we have a device that has the CE certification, and it's available to be injected and to give really reliable results. We have 4 preparations: lift, glow, hair, and shape, and we will be discussing each of them. So, what are the advantages of this technology? Well, the CHAC technology is a sort of physical manner to stretch the molecule of hyaluronic acid, okay, with open some sort of spaces in between the molecule, and is able to be like gluing different active principles like amino acid, vitamins, in order to make this hyaluronic acid special, okay? It will minimize the degradation of these principal actives, and it will increase the bioavailability of them in the skin. So by protecting the hyaluronic acid molecule, we are protecting it from the degradation from the hyaluronidase, and obviously it's produced with the highest standards of Switzerland, and the most important thing is that it gives long-lasting results. It was something that wasn't possible with anything before. So obviously the key ingredient is hyaluronic acid. We know that it's present in the skin, and we know that with age we start diminishing the capacity of producing hyaluronic acid. Okay, that's clear, everyone knows that. And we lose moisturing, we lose firmness in the skin. But we know that when we inject hyaluronic acid in the skin, it lasts nothing. It's very sensitive to free radicals, it's easy degraded by hyaluronidase, and if, for example, if you inject it in the blood, it lasts 3 to 5 minutes, and the skin is less than 24 hours. So it's vital to inject a product that has been some sort of stabilized, okay? 1/3 of the hyaluronic acid is produced and degraded every day, okay? And when we age, the rate between production and degradation goes on the side of the degradation. So we are sagging the skin, we are suffering arthritis and so forth, okay? So if we are good, for example in Italy, taking sun baths, we are increasing, the free radicals exposure, and we will have a premature aging, okay? But it's possible to do physical cross-linking, not chemical anymore. No BDDE present in this molecule, okay? And to increase the lasting of the material. So we name that hyaluronidase, UV exposure, pollutants, chemical stress, all of them, they attempt to favor a short life of hyaluronic acid. But because we have this complex stabilization, high pressure and shear deformation unfolds the molecule of hyaluronic acid. This is like, it's a geniality that no one has thought about that before, okay? So we unfold the molecule, and by exposing some sites, we can actually glue or puzzle, or put like a piece of a puzzle inside the molecule of hyaluronic acid to make it smarter, more efficient, different, okay? And the 3D CHAC complex formation is once everything is on the place, to just remove the pressure, and the hyaluronic acid unfolds naturally and is stable for 3 months. So this is a video about the technology, how it is done. Remember, it's a physical reaction, no chemicals, no BDD. I have been working in aesthetics for more than 20 years. I have been given advisory to the biggest companies. And this is one of the first times I really believe in one product, because this is a completely different technology. My patients, they come back requesting more treatments because they see the results. So that's how it is done. That's the technology. But what makes it so beautiful is that we are using the hyaluronic acid, which has been stabilized, as a vehicle to deliver active ingredients like vitamins, like amino acids, and they will be slowly released day by day, every day, and your skin will be improving day by day. That's the only way to do long-lasting results and to enhance the properties of hyaluronic acid and of the active ingredients that are adhered towards the molecule. So this CHAC technology protects the ingredient from the hyaluronidase. It optimizes the distribution of these materials, increase the availability of them, and it's a unique stabilization method. It's brand new to me, and I was very interested because we were used to other companies that they were selling some sort of booster, okay, but it has BDDE. So it's not truly mesotherapy. It's just like a filler, only that they use it like something that shouldn't be used like that. Now we have something that is not mesotherapy, it's not a filler, it's something so much better and so much different. So how should we deliver the cell boosters? The viscosity of the cell boosters is very low. It's like liquid. So we can use basic infiltrative techniques, bolus, linear, fanning, cross-hatching. I know you are all experts, so I won't get deep on that. The bolus technique is simpler. You just go to the target area and you just release the material, okay? We may use this when we want to enhance one of the actions of what we're injecting. Let's say, for example, that we are using CELLBOOSTER Shape. We want to melt the fat. So we will be injecting a bolus within the fat to be more effective in that area. Or there's an area that needs more hydration, so we will be injecting a bolus there. We will consume a little bit more material because we want to have like a reserve of hyaluronic acid in that area. Linear technique, it's a little bit more difficult. You have to be releasing the product and putting some pressure while removing the serum. Padey will be giving you more versatility in the depth of infiltration. The fanning technique you can be used because it's less perceived with pain by the patients. Okay, cross-hatching, a little bit useful for the wrinkles in the cheek, but it will increase the likelihood of hematomas. Okay, when we will start using cannulas? Well, cannulas allow a wider and an homogenic distribution of the product. Okay, we can deliver the products through less entry points. We are producing less trauma, so it's better when you are treating delicate areas or delicate patients. Sometimes patients that are too sensitive, or that they are people from the TV that they cannot allow to be with hematomas and so forth. Okay, linear multipass technique, and it will. I would recommend to use it when we want to favor linear vector retraction with the CELLBOOSTER lift preparation, for example. So you mark the skin. We use a small local anesthesia vesicle, and then needle penetration. We are using cannulas that are extremely thin. 27 gauge is enough because you have almost no viscosity. Okay, and then you are injecting, repositioning, reinfiltration. So let's talk first about CELLBOOSTER Shape. This preparation is intended for local fat reduction, water retention, and improves microcirculation. Okay, so double chin, liquid retention, cellulitis, and lymphatic drainage. That is the main use of this preparation. So local fat accumulation, sagging of the skin, double chin, fat cheeks, cellulite, water retention, puffiness, edema. I have started using it to melt the bishop fat pad with very promising results. Okay, I will show you in the future, in future meetings, I will show you something that we are preparing on that area as well. Okay. So what is the composition of this vial? We have hyaluronic acid as also boosters. We have L-carnitine and we have vitamin C. Okay. So L-carnitine is normalize the metabolic process. It will decompose the long fatty acid with acetyl coenzyme A, and it will establish a better skin salt-water balance. Okay, and it has a drain effect. It reduces lubricant congestion. All the people that train, they have been using in beverage, so it's not something that is new, but now we are injecting it in the fat. So the program of injection would be one session every 2 weeks for 3 times, and then 1 treatment per month as a maintenance. Okay, and you control pretty much the face, the neck, the décolleté, and all these areas that appear over there. So when we are talking about CELLBOOSTER Glow, we are talking about reducing the hyperpigmentation. That's the main scope of this material. Okay, obviously favoring a deep hydration. That is intended especially to reduce the hyperpigmentation, to improve the skin tone, to deeply hydrate the skin, and to protect against external aggressions. So the indications are mainly hyperpigmentation, incipient aging, dry skin, sun damage, and uneven skin tone. So the composition of this vial has the same hyaluronic acid, vitamins, vitamin C, biotin, and a lot of amino acids that we will discuss. So glutathione plus vitamin C will reduce the hyperpigmentation because it will block the tyrosinase that is responsible of the synthesis of melanin. And on the other side, we have all the blend of amino acids that will support the skin to make it more beautiful, more healthy, and to help the repair of the collagen. Same program, 1 session every 2 weeks, and then you can put a maintenance every 1 or 2 months. But believe me, with 1 treatment, you will have benefits for 3 months. We want to talk about as well about this CELLBOOSTER Lift, which is intended to diminish the aging effects, to stimulate the collagen production, and to improve cell nutrition and the microcirculation. It will re-densify the skin, it would lift and smooth the wrinkles, and it will improve the skin tone and the microcirculation. Indications: loss of firmness in facial tissues, dehydrated skin, wrinkles, skin laxity, loss of skin tone, and cuperosis. So the composition of this vial has always stabilized hyaluronic acid, okay, a group of amino acids, and different vitamins. All different compositions because all of them have a different scope, a different objective, okay? The key ingredients in CELLBOOSTER Lifts are amino acid and hyaluronic acid that will improve the rediscover of the skin, microcirculation, and wrinkless feeling, okay? And the vitamins will enhance the barrier of the skin and the defense of the cutaneous carpet. So same as the other ones, is 1 treatment every 2 to 3 weeks, and then you have a maintenance every once in a while or every time the patient requires a correction. And finally, I have a short time, so I will just name it. We have a special preparation for hair regrowth, okay? That will be strengthening hair follicles, improving microcirculation of the scalp, improving the hair growth, and restructuring the hair fibers. So indication would be alopecia areata, androgenic alopecia, damaged hair, premature graying, seborrhea, and non-cicatricial alopecia. Okay, we have that one as well, and the composition is completely different. That's our very good products. Okay, so we are going to see 3 videos about how I do this treatment, and believe me, my patients have been the most enthusiastic about this technology. They come and they have been coming and asking for more and more treatments of them. This is like a Creo roller. It's very useful to avoid hematomas and to avoid pain, especially in patients like her, that she has pulperosis. We injected CELLBOOSTER Glow, and it's 3 ml. It has 18 milligrams of hyaluronic acid within. We injected with a 31 gauge needle. The material is almost transparent. Linear technique. Very well tolerated, no allergies. What I really love about these products is they are curative. They are not corrective only, but they are curative. You are actually preventing the aging. So that's for CELLBOOSTER Glow. And now we will start with CELLBOOSTER Lift. Okay, so because we want to lift the tissues, is that I use cannulas here. This is more or less like a 25 gauge cannula. Because I invented them, it's a curved cannula that I patented in the United States, and I presented a couple of 3 years ago in INCAS Congress. But you can use any cannula you may want, okay? 25, 27 gauge is enough, okay? Because you want to be injecting this product that will do the lifting vectors over the skin, okay? This product is not transparent, it's a little bit yellowish, okay? The patient has been anesthetized previously with a small vesicle of anesthesia, and you just like delivered widely the product to enhance the retracting vectors. And finally, we are going to show you the CELLBOOSTER Shape. You know, this lady had a previous liposuction of the neck, but she had still fat deposits that were a little bit below the platysma. So here you can inject more the material to melt that, to improve, you know, the puffiness of the area, to remove all the fat that was left over there, to improve the firmness of the skin, okay? So I think this is an excellent material because it gives no inflammation as phosphatidylcholine or ursodeoxycholic acid, you know, that we have been using. They are effective, but they cause a lot of pain, a lot of inflammation. Here you have no inflammation, no side effects, and just active principles that are continually acting for 3 months. That's the beauty of it, okay? I hope we will have time to answer the questions. We will be in the stand there, and it's a pleasure to have you all here. And I think I will leave the microphone to my colleague. It's always good to massage patients, especially in these times. They are always super stressed, so they relax a little bit more with that. No downtime, no inflammation, just a good part. So, this is the company. You live in the company, it's a very serious company, okay? I have been forever in the aesthetic market, and it's very hard for me to sell products that I don't believe in. And this product is really good. I really believe in this product. This is me. Follow me, please, on Instagram. Any comments, any questions you may write to me, I will be more than happy to answer them. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. I guess Sebastian already told you everything about the CHAC technique, and I'm collaborating with this company since a couple of years now, because I was very attracted by this patenting formula, because I guess it's one of the special peculiarity of using this product. And when they talked to me, they said, "Oh, would you like to present a new booster?" I said, "One more." And finally I tried, and at once I can tell you I found the big difference between all the products we can use on the market actually. And it's very important to say that. Of course, I pass very quickly. You remember this CHAC technique? I think it's one of the best because you can get a lot of water, so you will have a good hydrating of the skin as well. And it's very interesting because as you pressure all the ingredients together, you can get a better solution and a long lasting on all your effects. I like to combine this booster with fillers, with meso, and as much as you can combine the technique even with surgery. But when I discovered, CELLBOOSTER, I realized that it was very interesting because it was enough to use it as well. Why? Because we have a good solution, to work on a good duration for the HA life, and it's very interesting for us to remember all this technique. I pass very quickly because you saw already all this slide, and I want to show you a few results as well. We use people, now you can see that our patients are younger and younger. At the beginning, a couple of years ago, people were about 50 to 60, even older. Now they are 25, 30, even a little more. And it's very interesting, to work on that way. Why? We have to make a good rejuvenation of the skin. We can work on a couple rows, we can work on acne, and we can mix our combination and to be very satisfied for that. This example, this patient, she's 35 years old. We worked on the front head as well, on the periorbital area, the better target of the skin on all the face, even the neck and the back ends in the same way. We have a very glowing skin, and we diminished the hyperpigmentation. And it's interesting because we made a different study of dermoscopy, for example, and we can show you that whenever we use this product, for example, on the CrossFit measurement on this patient, we have 25% diminution of the depth of the wrinkles, which means whenever we don't have EBDA, it's not a filler, we can be already successful. So remember, the CELLBOOSTER is between meso and filler. And Sebastian told it very well. Okay? When we make also studies, and we have to prove the result of our studies, we made a study on the nasolabial folds, and also we have a very big diminution of 43% of all the wrinkles. And that is very interesting. Why? Because we want to take a long-lasting and a good effect, and I can be successful now even more than 3 months. We work also on the hyperpigmentation, and we can see that we are very successful and we have less amount of melanin under the skin. Very interesting. Another patient. For example, I will give you my protocol after that. We made a procedure for 2-3 weeks interval for this patient. 36 or 35 is very similar as well. We worked on the correction of the acne and we diminished, all the hyperpigmentation. We have a very good skin pore tightened and a very good hydration. And when you have a long hydration, a good hydration of the skin, first you fight against the aging, and you are very successful, and we can be very satisfied, the patient first, and our practice after that. And we have also a diminution of the seborrhea and the sebum. Okay? We have to make picture all the time to prove and to see our result, how we can be very efficient. And you can notice that we can work in the periorbital zone as well. It's a very big difficult zone to treat. And whenever we have few fillers in some laboratories and so as well, it's very interesting because usually when you use meso, you inject very superficial. When you use filler, you can be or deep or more superficial. But with this booster, you can use all the levels, and you can choose the levels it will be interesting for you to choose. For example, in this periorbital zone, very interesting, but you have to inject very deep in the soup, contact with the bone, and don't forget that. And we use it like a filler whenever it's not a filler, and it's more interesting, and I think it's a stronger effect and a longer effect. I'm more satisfied with this cell booster than even with the filler. Also, we have a control of the hemoglobin, and the slide talks by itself, and you can see that all the redness and the hyperpigmentation are quite very well diminished, and it's very interesting, to control that all the time, even with the cell booster glow, also on the lift and also on the shape, but as much, on a dermoscopy with cell booster glow, and you can see that we have 29%, even 30%, less wrinkle, and the depth of the pore are quite diminished. As a periorbital area, I think usually all our studies first were on the nasolabial or periorbital, because it's the most difficult zone to treat, and we can be more successful on that way. It's why I wanted to show you. And all the time, we are between 25 to 50% of amelioration, and a better way to control all the pore and the aspect of the skin. As a patient, pre-procedure as well, 32 years old, same way. We work on the periorbital zone, and we work on the nasolabial fold. The mandibular line improvement is very important also. Usually, if you want to correct this line, you have to use filler. With cell booster, it works. And I was very surprised for that. And we have a good skin sensitivity decrease, and we have, of course, the big iteration, and I insist on that way. It was very interesting. This one also had couperose, who disappeared totally on the cheeks. We have a diminution on the shape as well with lift or glow, but also on shape. You can see that this area can be used, and we can use the free products in all the face. We have to manage how to proceed, and I will give you my protocols and how I'm using and choose the product. Once more, we make a dermoscopy study, and all the time we are very successful, by the depth of the pore, all the time we are very diminished. The protocols is very interesting, but we can choose how we can use. Sebastian shall show you already how we can mean. First, as all the products and all our technique, I don't teach you anything when I tell you have to clean the skin, use antiseptic. Topical can be used or not. I'm surgeon, so usually I don't use too much, but I'm a little more rude, but it's okay. We can choose. We can have different procedure. If you make papilla for me, it's not the best word. I prefer to say big bolus, which means you make an injection with an angle between 30 to 45 degrees. 30 degrees is the best way. You can use a needle about 30 gauge, and it's very interesting because the volume injecting will be 0.05 to 0.1. You have to manage according with the product you will use. For the glow, I think 31 or 32 gauges is a very good using with this needle. And the depth will be around 4 millimeters. Fan technique is one of my favorite because I'm using a lot of cannula. I prefer because we have less entries in the face. We can slide under the skin, we can manage all the face as well. And even on the front head, it's much less traumatic than a needle. Needle, we can touch capillaries, you can risk a lot of hematoma. So as much as you can, when you can, to my advice, can take a cannula. I use a 25 gauges with a 50 millimeter. It's very easy to use. She must be a little soft, but not too much. And you can, I will show you on the video just after that. It's more, when you want to have a local treatment, especially for hyperpigmentation, when you have mark and so on. You want to be very good, well localized on a face. In such case, you can use an angulation of 45 to 30 degrees, 2 millimeter depth, and sometimes you can have small hematoma, and I will show you on my video. I wanted to make a video, and I show a result just after to see that we can have a small hematoma who can appear. The volume injecting will be all the way to between 0.02 to 0.03, even 0.5, and we have a very good pigmentation and information provided. Micropapilla, it's especially for this periorbital zone. Injection, with needle as well. 30 gauges or 31 gauges is very interesting also. We inject intradermal, and we are superficial, but you can also inject deep. Don't worry, you are allowed to do it. Injection, after for the lift is very similar, but I have to choose and to adapt the treatment with the goal we want to work. Cleaning and everything as usual. When I use lift and shape, I make a topical anesthesia systematically. Papilla as well, as I told you, needle 30-31 gauges, intradermis injection, needle cut-up, and you can make a volume. Usually for the video I use more, but you can use 3 cc vial in each session, and it's absolutely enough. Fanning technique once more with the lift, and it's my favorite technique I can use as well. Once more with the cannula technique, the 25 gauges. 3 cc or little more if you want. When you want to be very strong, you can use a little more product, but 1 vial is already very efficient. Micropapilla once more, periorbital zone as well. Injection 30 degrees, and very easy to proceed. When you are injecting on this periorbital zone, be perpendicular, be deep, and go in the soup. You must not, keep the water, and it's not a liquefied product, so we have to be very careful. So we have to adapt our technique and to be very conservative, and we must be very sure of what we are doing. So it's why it's very important to respect all the areas, to respect the anatomy. It's why we are all experts, and we have to manage and to entertain our practice all the time. Retrograde linea is very famous injection we can do as well. Needle 30 gauges, you can make also with cannula and with no problem. But I think 0.05 each point by point, is very easy to inject. The shape, I like it very much. I used to use a lot of products, who were working on about fats, but I was satisfied and not satisfied at the same time, because I had to repeat 6 to 10 sessions to be very successful. Here, with 1 session, I was already very pleased, which means that L-carnitine is very good and very efficient, for working, and we are very strong, and the goal we want to reach is obtained, in 1 session, which is very, very good. Fanning technique also, you can use it as well. Cannula type, always 25 gauges as well. Epidermis border, you can use also 3 cc each time. I like very much this double chin technique, and when I finish the technique, sometimes I put a stretch, and a tension to keep it just after the injection, and the effect is stronger with this technique. You have a deepness about 6 millimeter, 4 millimeter to 6 millimeter. You pinch the skin as well and be perpendicular for injecting. And I give you an advice, when you have your syringe, because it happened to me, so I tell you, because it can happen to you, use a syringe as much as you can with a screw for your needles, because if you press, you can lose the product. It happened to me last week, so I remember, and I wanted to tell you today, that as much as you can, use a needle with a screw. Okay? Bolus is my favorite, a 90 degrees injection, and very interesting because you press, you pitch the skin as much as you can, and you are it's very easy to proceed. When you are injecting on this periorbital zone, be careful and tell to your patient that you will arrive with your needle, because sometimes they can be a little afraid. Okay? Papula, once more, is very similar. All the time I repeat because I choose according with the product, but the technique is very similar. Whatever, for my own protocol, when I'm using, I prefer to use the free product in the same session, which means it will be more product, but the success will be much better because each cell booster will have its advantage and its qualities. In such case, I repeat, 3 sessions, 3 weeks interval, as much as you can. You continue the treatment 1 session every month. If you can, twice a year is already very interesting. I like to start with cell booster lift. Why? Because I work first on the skin redensification, and I work, you know, in the quality in general, and I want to work on the full face. You can make also front end as well, temple area, neck, cleavage, you can make back end, internal part of the arm, and it's very interesting because it's you have a very good diffusion, it's not traumatic at all, no eviction of professionality, it's very easy to use. Second way, when I finish to use my cellular booster lift, I use the shape. Why? Because in such case, I work on all the zone with the retention liquid you can have. You can work on the fat area, and especially over here with the back jaws, and it's very easy to combine. And when you finish lift and shape, after, I'm working more superficially because I'm very deep with the shape, less deep with lift, and much more superficial with the glow, except on this periorbital zone, and I can combine to make a good glowing effect, to conclude, you know, and to give another bigger hydration. So it's very interesting because combining this product, you are very successful and you are very sure, you know, to be efficient in all the way. You can work on acne, you can work on scar, you can work on quality of the skin, on cuperose, and it's not necessary now to combine with some technique, laser or something else. I made this video to show you how we can combine the free products and how we can manage our technique. She had no topical anesthesia. I first started with the lift, cell booster lift. Why? Because I wanted to work on the quality of the skin. I used that to have this patient. I made some filler on the lips, and it was forte, I can tell you. And it's very interesting because we work with a cannula. I made a fanning technique like that. It's easy for me, you know, to catch all the face. And Frederic was here for the camera, so he can tell you that there was no pain. She was very relaxed, and she did not move whenever we did not make any topical anesthesia. Interesting also, I make only 4 points of entry, 2 over here on the zygomatic, 2 on the chin, and you can slide with a cannula of 25 volts, and you push. And as I told you, remember, as much as you can, use a syringe with a screw. You can press, you know, very regular time. It's no resistance. The fluid is very easy to push and to inject. And we continue that way. So when I show you this way, you can see that I like to prepare my products first. And when I manage that, so I can jungle after that, you know, I can choose which product I can use. It's why I like to be first on a general face, you know, with a lift. And after that, we combine and we change our protocol. Interesting to see that the patient, whenever she's not moving at all, is very easy because you can spread, you can work on the marionette fold as well, you can work on the nasolabial fold, you can inject with the cannula perpendicularly of the nasolabial, and it's very easy for using all these techniques. Okay? Only 4 points of entries is much more comfortable for the patient. And we don't spend so much product. Well, here I was a little for the camera, a little the video, a little more using more product, but it was okay. I use 3 cc of lift, 3 cc of shape, and 3 cc of glow. So you can imagine that it's a big amount. But this patient, instead of making 3 sessions, 3 weeks interval, she is very happy. She calls me every day and she says, it's fantastic. Because I made a lot of things on her. She knows my injection. And it's the first time she explained that her skin was different. And that is very interesting as well. This person cannot be operated with surgery. She cannot have any treatment. And the first impression she had, it was the tension of the skin. And that is very interesting. And to say that sometimes you can get this result with fillers. But here, no. I think this cell booster is a revolution. Sebastian told you revolution is right. Because, it's exactly, a new protocol, a new way of using this product. And we can see that it's very easy. It's not bleeding, it's not traumatic, and it makes the patient very comfortable. You have a small redness, of course, but as with all the injection we can have, but nothing else. Only you can see a glowing effect, an instant one, and you can see this efficacy. And that, I like it very much. And now, I'm very mean, with my meso, because I'm more attracted by a cell booster. And I was not convinced at the beginning, and now I prefer this one. So you can see how we can change our mind, how we can be progressive. We work with a lot of laboratories. It's the first time with this CHAC technique that we can get such good results. And I think we are very enthusiastic for that because it's so positive, We are sure, to be successful and the long lasting. And if you want to manage your fillers and cell booster, the long lasting will be much, much longer. And that is very interesting. Under the chin, and I can show you that I injected, I pinched the skin as I told you, and I'm very perpendicular. And it's important to get a deepness between 4 to 6 millimeters. And you can use, for the double chin over here, about half vial is already very enough. Because I like sometimes it's to make the double chin over here with half vial, and with my cannula, I work on the line improvement, all along the mandibula, on retrotracé, and it's very easy to make. Now here, you see, we have a small hyperpigmentation, and I use the glow just locally. I was a little deep. Usually, you can use it more superficially, but I'm one of the doctors, who like to work with meso or cell booster much deeper. We're in time, it's okay? Okay, you tell me, because I never look at my watch. And here, for this area, in periorbital zone over here, you have to be very careful and to respect the anatomy. We have a vascular pack here, very interesting, very dangerous. So we have to stretch the skin, to slide your needle under the skin, and to make a big bolus, and after you make a massage. The massage is very important. Why? You can spread the product as well. It's very fluid. You don't have, big amount, of product locally on one place. All the full face can be interesting and injected. In such case, you can use one for the face, one for back ends. Usually, sometimes I make one vial on each hand because I like, and I make cannula. And I use a lift preferentially. But you don't have a limit. When we talk about fillers, we have to select and to count our syringes and so on. And here it's not the case. But you are very efficient. One vial of cell booster is more efficient sometimes than one meso and filler. But no risk at all. It's not dangerous, you don't have a limit, it's very safe. I finish, the video just with a message, very important. And we are on the booth with Sebastian, and you are very welcome for completing. Thank you very much.
The first vials they send me, I start giving it as a present to my patients because I do a lot of surgery, like 80% of my practice is surgery, 85%. So if they give a good testimonial of the surgery, I will give as a gift one of the self-boosters for a sample, because I wanted to try the product. So I did a blepharoplasty on a lady, and she was super happy, and she gave me a good testimonial for my social media, and I gave her the self-booster. And then after a month, she came back, and I say, "How is your blepharoplasty?" She say, "Oh, that's fine, but I just want another self-booster." So that's the concept, something that I'm a surgeon. I tend not to do mesotherapy, but this is not mesotherapy. This is not a filler. This is something that is corrected, and is something that will diminish the aging of the skin. So it's truly, for me, a revolution.
And to complete what Sebastian told you, for example, before a lifting, you can make one session with a CELLBOOSTER lift 2 weeks before, all along the neck, the platysma, and behind the ear and so on. The hemostasis during the surgery will be better. The smoothness will be better. The scar will be better. The comfort of the patient will be better.